Thank you, Michael. We really appreciate this opportunity, and we want to thank everybody for joining us today. We've got kind of a fun topic today. It's a little cheesy, so I hope you'll bear with us, but I think it makes it kind of fun. We're going to talk about how to MacGyver access control, and not sure what everybody's ages are or if you remember MacGyver. I didn't actually watch the show, but it's certainly something we're all familiar with the term. So MacGyver was that kind of that sitcom superhero from the 1980s. He defeated the bad guys by solving problems with science, with his trusty pocket knife and whatever items he had at hand, whether it was bubble gum or chocolate or eggs. And yeah, that's a good reminder too. If you have questions, put them in the Q&A box and we're happy to answer them as we go along. So yeah, MacGyver was this great guy from the 80s. Eventually the term MacGyver became a verb that's actually in the dictionary, and it kind of means to fix something or solve a problem in an innovative way. MacGruber, yeah. So MacGyvering access control is using trusty and innovative tools such as Cypress solutions. That's kind of been our reputation. We're kind of the go-to people to fix things quickly and affordable, in an affordable way. People referred to as MacGyver as Batman on a budget, and so that's kind of what you get with us. You're going to get a good quality product, a good quality solution, and it's usually going to be a time saver, and it's going to be cost effective too. We have 37 years of expertise in access control, in data collection and RFID solutions. We've really kind of earned that go-to MacGyver reputation for solutions, including custom solutions. About 10 to 20% of our products are custom solutions, so we are happy to put those together for you, and we'll be talking about that in a few minutes. And we have a lifetime warranty on most of our products. Before I go any further, I want to introduce everyone who's here with me. We have Brian Ahern, who is our media guy. You want to say hi, Brian?
Hello.
We have Jacob LeRoy, who is our customer support specialist.
Hi.
And we have Kyle Schrag, who is our product engineer.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, that's our team here today. And we're gonna have a cheesy MacGyver quote for you in each section to kind of introduce each product line. So I'm going to turn this over to Jacob now.
All right, so to start off, we have a quote here. The best way to beat a problem is to make it work for you. So you may have heard some integrators or installers ask similar questions to these. How am I supposed to trench for cable here? There's no access control system where I need to install the reader. The readers are being blown up by lightning strikes. What about all this electrical noise? Can I use the dark fiber already on site? Is there an easier way to install a reader in an elevator? It's a delicate historical building that shouldn't be disturbed, and I need to go over railroad tracks in a parking lot. So the answer to those questions is the Cypress products, the supervised reader extenders. The Cypress allows readers to be installed much farther away than the 500-foot limit of typical Wiegand interfaces without having to install a second control panel or trench other cable. So these products save time, money, and save you a bunch of headache with no need to trench or install new cable. So here is just an overview of a traditional access control installation with a Wiegand card reader at a door. This is at the top of the page. You can see that there's the card reader, the door strike, the Rex, and a bunch of other connections, all going back to the control panel. And then at the bottom, we have our Cypress wireless products and our Cypress wired products. And these take all those connections and simplify them into the wireless or wired connection to transmit them to and from the card reader location and the access control panel location. So here we're going to get into our Cypress wired reader extenders. We have models that communicate over RS-45 connections, and other models that communicate over IP network Ethernet connections, and then also fiber optic connections on both single mode and multi-mode fiber optic cable. So here we have our RS-45 Wiegand reader extenders. These connect a Wiegand reader to an access control panel using a 2-conductor RS-45 connection. We have 2 models here. There's the basic model, which is the SPX-1300, and these support 1 Wiegand reader and have a typical range of up to 10,000 feet. And then we have the expandable model, the SPX-7500, which has a typical range of up to 4,000 feet. And the SPX-7500 is compatible with our EXP2000 expansion devices, which allow for multiple Wiegand reader connections over the same RS-45 2-wire connection. And we'll be getting into that EXP2000 product later at the end of the Cypress section. So these RS-45 reader extenders are recommended for elevator applications. You can take advantage of the elevator traveler cable and also other sites with electrical interference, as RS-45 is naturally resilient against electrical noise and environments, and also just any application where you have a limited number of conductors that you can take advantage of, using the 2-wire connection instead of all those different individual cable connections we saw earlier. So now we're moving on to our Ethernet reader extenders. This is the SPX-7200. These are used to connect a Wiegand reader over an existing IP network, which allows for a limited distance between the Wiegand reader and the access controller, as the distance is determined by the IP network, not by the limits of Wiegand. So you plug the Cypress central and remote units into routers or switches to install readers anywhere on the network, or they can be connected directly with an Ethernet crossover cable up to 328 feet apart. And then finally, here we have our fiber optic reader extenders. So we have 2 models here. We have the multi-mode fiber optic reader extender, the SPX-7400. This uses the multi-mode cable to connect the reader to the control panel with a range of up to 2 miles. And then we have the single mode fiber optic reader extender, which is the SPX-7410. And these can be used to connect a reader up to the control panel with a range of up to 24 miles. These are recommended for sites with dormant fiber or to solve specific environmental challenges such as excessive heat, sites prone to lightning strikes, or that have saltwater intrusion or erosion issues, or that have corrosive environments such as industrial sites. And now moving on, we're moving over to our Cypress wireless products, our supervised wireless reader extenders. We have the 2 models here. We have the SPX-5631, which is the standard range, and then we have the long range model, which is the SPX-5641. So these are used to install readers across parking lots, railroad tracks, roads, or in distant buildings or sites where minimal disruption is desired, such as historic building. These allow you to connect readers to access control systems without trenching cable or digging up anything. And so here we have a video that just goes over the basic applications for the wireless Cypress devices.
Wireless Cypress is used in a range of applications, including installing a card reader in an elevator, connecting a card reader with a control panel across parking lots, roads, railroad tracks, or water, temporary reader installations, and other access control installations where it is undesirable to trench, install cable, or pull wire, such as in a historic building. So what is a wireless Cypress reader extender? A Cypress is essentially a pair of extender units. The Cypress remote unit connects to the reader, and the Cypress central unit connects to the control panel. When a card is swiped, the Cypress remote sends the badge information wirelessly to the central unit, which relays the information to the control panel, then communicates back to the reader over the same path. Traditional card reader installations involve installing a lot of cable too, since it takes as many as 11 wires to connect each card reader to the control panel. That's at least 5 wires for the card reader, 2 wires for a door strike, an alarm contact, and on the secure side of the door, a request to exit. The SuperX eliminates the need for all those wires, since it converts the signal at each end of the connection to send wirelessly. Depending on the environment, the card reader can be installed up to 10,000 feet from the control panel, even if there is a road or railroad tracks between the reader and panel. And repeaters can add extra distance or help with installation issues, such as when there is no clear line of sight between the remote and central units. Plus, the SuperX supervises the connection between the remote unit and the central unit. AES encryption is available upon request.
Okay, and then now we're going to get into the SuperX reader extender accessory parts. We do offer wireless repeaters, the RPT 5651, and these are for use with our wireless SuperX reader extenders. And these allow you to either extend the distance between the two SuperX wireless reader extender units, or to get around environmental obstacles if you cannot get direct line of sight between the central and remote units. And then additionally, we have the EXP 2000 expansion module sets. And these are used with the SuperX reader extenders to connect up to 8 readers over the existing connection made by the SuperX product, either the IP network connection, the 485 connection, fiber optic, or wireless connection. So each expansion module set supports an additional Wiegand reader. And I see we have some questions in the chat. So the first one is line of sight necessary? And what about trees, parking lot, poles, etc.? Line of sight isn't always necessary, but it's recommended. If customers have some doubts when they're on the phone, I typically ask them to just kind of, if they have the products, we can send them a demo, or if they have them, we can set them up and kind of mock them up. What you can do is just power the units on with a battery or a plug-in transformer. It's not permanent, and the units will connect, or should connect automatically. And then you can see if your communication status is good. For trees, it's been hit or miss. Sometimes the trees are thick enough where we might need to use a repeater to either get through the trees or go around the trees. But light poles and parking lots haven't been, too big of an issue. The issue with parking lots is more so just vehicle traffic. Sometimes customers will have parking lots that have big semi trucks come through, and sometimes they'll park in front of one of the units, and that can cause issues. So we just recommend that they get our units above any vehicle traffic that might be going through the parking lot. And then we have a second question here. What type of power do the SuperX wireless modules require? The SuperX wireless modules, each unit, the central and remote, both require 8 to 16 volts DC at 300 milliamps. So basically, just a typical 12 volt DC half amp power supply is suitable. And that's the same for all of the SuperX products, really. They all have the same power rating. Okay, so now we're going to move on to just some features of the SuperX products. So all of the SuperX models and EXP or EXPs support these data interfaces. There's the default Wiegand interface, which is 24 to 248 bits. There's also the Wiegand no filter mode for keypad readers, which lowers that lower bound down to 4 bits. Then there's several strobed rising edge settings for specific readers. There's a generic strobed falling edge setting, and then they also support unsupervised F2F data interfaces. And moving on, they also support these following I/O channels. They also support LED control for readers. They have an auxiliary I/O path for getting some signal back to the access control panel. There's 4 relays in the system, 2 on each board. So there's 2 relay outputs on the central and 2 relay outputs on the remote. And these are typically used for door strike or gate control, and then also for rec switches or supervision relays for the unit's communication status. And here are some market applications for the SuperX reader extender products. They're used in multi-tenant commercial buildings, education and health campuses, inside service elevators, in environments with a lot of electrical interference, and retrofit and access point applications, mining applications, sites with environmental challenges such as sun and salt water or lightning strikes, sites with dormant fiber that can be taken advantage of, inside parking garages in historical buildings, and inside apartment complexes. So I see we have another question. What type of security is employed on the wireless portion? So I assume that's the wireless SuperX reader extenders. AES 128 encryption is available upon request. If the customer needs that for their site, they can just contact us, and basically that's just a feature we offer that has to be requested on the order. So it just needs to be marked on the PO. There's no extra fee or anything. We just have to be made aware that that's required for that specific job. There's another question here. Saltwater, oceanfront properties, no problem. As far as that, I mean, that was mostly just for like the fiber. So if you had like a saltwater corrosion on some conduit or some cables, the fiber, is resilient to that. As far as the environmental rating on some of our products, the wireless SuperX units come in a weather rated enclosure. So if they have some sea spray, that shouldn't be a problem when they get on those units because they're going to be installed outdoors. The other SPX products are not weather rated. They're just an extruded aluminum enclosures with end plates, and those should be placed in areas where they won't be hit with any salt water or anything else like that. Okay, so moving on to our next section. Sorry, I have another question here. Is this technology approved for government CAC readers? I don't believe so. I'm not sure. I can ask our president, Paul, about that. And we can get back to you, Mario. I don't know. I think we'll get your contact information at the end of this webinar. Or if you'd like to ask us your question directly, you can email us at solutions@cyprx.com. Okay, so moving on to our next section here, we have another quote. There always seems to be a way to fix things. So what's the fix for this? You might hear some integrators or installers ask you these questions. I need to install a high-low reader at a gate without using up too many Wiegand ports. I have 2 readers with different Wiegand voltage levels. This reader's data needs to go to multiple access control systems. And I have 1 Wiegand port available on the panel, but I have to install 2 readers. So the answer to those questions is the Wiegand splitter. This is our product, the CVX-OPTW. So this is a small, inexpensive device that saves you time and money in these situations. So here we have the main 3 applications for the CVX-OPTW Wiegand splitter. At the top, we have a 2-reader to 1 panel application. So this is useful for like a vehicle gate with a high and low reader that can both go back to 1 port on the access control panel. In the middle, we also have a 1-reader to 2 panel application if you need the credential data from a single reader to go to 2 different access control systems. And then down below, we have it just acting as an optical isolator for situations where, for instance, the reader and the panel can't be connected electrically for some reason. This is typically the case when a reader or panel has different voltage levels for the Wiegand lines than the other device. Some Wiegand devices operate at 12 volts, most operate at 5 volts, but you can't connect those directly together. But you can connect them through the CVX-OPTW Wiegand splitter. So here's some market applications for the Wiegand splitter. They're used in multi-tenant commercial buildings, in apartment complexes, in transportation applications, parking garages, manufacturing and industrial sites, inside data centers, and in education and health campuses. Now moving on to the next section. Maybe it's about time I expanded the realm of possibilities around here. So what are the possibilities? These Wiegand formats aren't compatible with my access controller. How can this RS-232 barcode scanner connect to my Wiegand access control panel? I need to connect an old legacy device to new hardware. And this Wiegand reader needs to connect to an RS-232 serial device. So the answer to these questions is our multi-format data converter. The multi-format data converter enables dozens of field selectable conversions that can convert between Wiegand and RS-232, RS-232 and Wiegand, or between different Wiegand formats. This makes systems compatible, allowing partial upgrades instead of complete replacement, saving you time and money. Custom converters are also available upon request if a unique application arises that isn't covered by our standard converter. So here is the CVX 1300, which is our standard converter. And like I said before, this has dozens of field selectable conversions that are selectable via dip switch. Examples of common conversion settings include RS-232 ASCII decimal to Wiegand 26-bit, RS-232 12-digit ASCII decimal to Wiegand 40-bit, Wiegand into RS-232 ASCII decimal output, and then other Wiegand to Wiegand conversions for converting between Wiegand formats. Here are some market applications for the CVX 1300 data converters. We have toll tag applications. A lot of the toll tag readers are RS-232 output, so we use our converter to connect those to Wiegand access control systems. They're used inside parking garages, inside turnstile applications, typically with barcode scanners, inside airline applications, transportation, and then also in visitor lobby applications. So we'll move on to our next section. The previous sections have been kind of over products that are our bread and butter. You may be familiar with those, but now we're going to move on to something you might be a little less familiar with. So any problem can be solved with a little ingenuity. How can I apply ingenuity to this problem? It takes too long to badge in all of the workers in a vehicle. We need to scan badges at emergency assembly points. I need to rapidly deploy a temporary entrance. Is there a better way to verify truck drivers' credentials at this facility? And this company wants to track staff members entering and exiting meeting rooms. So the answer to these questions is the HHR products. These are our wireless handheld readers. The HHR reader wirelessly connects to a controller's live database to reliably verify credentials beyond a fixed door or gate location. These products offer flexibility for use in random screenings, for use with trucks and aboard buses, and staff session enrollment, mustering, and rapid disaster deployment. There are encrypted models that can be ordered. So just talk to us about those and we can get you set up with that. The handheld readers for communication between the reader and the base unit that connects to the access control panel uses 2.4 gigahertz frequency with the IEEE 802.15.4 wireless protocol. So it's similar to Wi-Fi, but it's not Wi-Fi, it's a point-to-point radio system. So it shouldn't interfere with any Wi-Fi networks in the area. The typical range for indoor applications is 150 feet, and the typical range for outdoor applications is 500 feet. And these are without repeater, and depending on environment, and wireless repeaters for these products are available as well to either increase distance or to get around environmental obstacles. So here's a video explaining the basics of the HHR system.
You could take the reader where it's most needed. With the Cypress handheld wireless reader, you can check IDs at freight entrances, on buses, or other vehicles, enroll staff members at training sessions, perform random badge challenges, rapidly deploy access control in disaster settings, and create emergency assembly points for staff or student safety. Clearly, the Cypress handheld wireless reader brings flexibility, convenience, and an additional layer of security to access control. Let's look at how the Cypress handheld reader works. When you swipe a card or credential on the Cypress handheld reader, it rapidly sends the credential data to its matched base unit. The base unit relays data to the existing access control system. This means credential verification is based on the most current data instead of being limited to preloaded data, which can be outdated when access privileges change. The handheld reader lets you know when a valid credential is verified. Its green LED illuminates and the reader vibrates. Status LEDs in the handheld reader let you know when the reader is powered on, and when the handheld reader is wirelessly communicating with its base unit. At the center of the handheld reader is a feature known as a vent button. Just push the button to control a relay right from the reader. This can be used for functions such as operating a door or gate, or triggering a duress alarm. To recharge the reader, place it in its convenient charging dock. The reader will not be active in the charger. Cypress handheld readers are available in multiple credential configurations to meet your access control needs. If you need to use the Cypress handheld reader at both entrance and exit doors or gates, Cypress offers two options. Order a dual lane reader, which lets you select the in lane or out lane with the press of a button, or kit with two single lane handheld readers. If you need the Cypress handheld reader only at an entrance or exit, choose a single lane reader. Optional repeaters are available to bypass obstacles or increase distance between the handheld reader and its base unit. A choice of reader holsters is also available.
Okay, so here we have the three types of HHR kits that we offer. Starting on the left of the screen, we have our dual lane kit. And so this kit, the reader in this kit has in and out buttons here that allow the user to switch between two Wiegand outputs on the base unit that are connected to two different Wiegand ports on the access control system. So this one guard or user can use this reader to track people coming in and out of the site. And then in the middle, we have the single lane reader kit, which is the most basic kit. It's just a reader connected to the base unit that connects to one Wiegand port. So it's just kind of the simplest form of the HHR kit. And then moving on to the right side of the screen, we have a two reader kit. And so these are just two single lane readers connected to the same base unit that each have their own output or Wiegand output to the access control panel. So this you can use this for in and out applications where there are explicit in and out lanes that you might have a guard or a user for each lane. And here we have some. We go over the different kit numbers and the different credential options for each kit. So here we have one of our reader kits with the Farpoint Prox reader module in there that support low frequency credentials such as HID Prox and AWID cards. And then moving down, we have our reader kits with the HID iClass SE modules. This is a dual frequency module that supports both high frequency 13.56 credentials and 125 kilohertz low frequency credentials. So this supports HID Prox, HID iClass, CIOS, MyFair Classic, and MyFair DesFire. And then moving down, we have our kits with the Farpoint Delta 3 module that support high frequency credentials, mostly focusing on MyFair Classic and MyFair DesFire credentials. And now we have another kit that's the iClass SE module, but it's high frequency only. So that again would be iClass, CIOS, and then MyFair Classic and MyFair DesFire. And then down here we have just the iClass SE reader modules in the kits, but it only supports low frequency credentials such as HID Prox. So recently we introduced a protective boot for the HHR readers. So these are now available, and you can order them as a kit. They're included in new kit numbers. So the kit includes the reader, the charging dock, the charger, the boot with a shoulder strap, and the base unit. The rubber boot does need to be removed to place it into the charging dock. To order these, you just need to add the letter B before the color choice in the HHR kit part number. So here we have a standard kit without the boot, the HHR-3156-GY and HHR-3156-WH. Those are for gray and white colored HHR readers. And here we have the HHR kit part numbers with the boot. So it'd be HHR-3156B-GY and HHR-3156B-WH, and those will include the boot with the reader. So I see we have a question. On the HHR, you stated there was a button to press to activate a relay. Does the relay work only after the card has been validated or all the time? The relay, that we call that the vend button, and that button to activate the relay is active at all times. So the user can press that button anytime they wish to either open a gate or to do a duress alarm or another function that you can connect the relay output to. Okay, so here are some market applications for the HHR products. They're used with guardhouses, transportation, military applications, mining applications, for manufacturing industrial plants, in mustering, enrollment, and random challenges, for energy and petrochemical sites, and construction and temporary entrances, in education and health campuses, and for government applications. And I see we have another question asking where pricing is available. Pricing is available, of course, from ADI and our other distribution partners. And then also on our website, we have an MSRP price list that has the MSRP cost for all of our products, including the HHR kits. And then just a few more points to mention on the HHR kits before we move on. We do have, for high security applications, we do have another version of these kits that uses OSDP secure channel communication between the wireless reader and the base unit. And those can be special ordered. Just contact us and we can get you set up if you need those. And then also the VEN button can be custom configured to be valid on read only if that's a required feature for that application. Okay, and then moving on to this next section, I'm going to pass it over to Kyle.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to be going over the OSDP section. So with our starting quote, you can't just talk about your problems. You have to look for a solution. So enough talk. What's the solution? I don't want to wait until staff badge in to find out the reader isn't working. The Wiegand connection can be hacked from outside of a secure door. There must be an access control protocol recommended for government and high security settings. Why are we locked into using just one manufacturer's products? Why do I have to run all these wires to my reader? We are using the most secure readers, but how can we encrypt data between the reader and panel? So the solution is the OSDP protocol. And after 20 plus years of talk, it's now being brought into the marketplace. So OSDP stands for Open Supervised Device Protocol. It is the Security Industry Association's communication protocol. It's going to be an international IEC standard. So the improvement over previous protocols is that OSDP v2 has AES 128 encryption to address the Wiegand hacking vulnerability. Some other advantages it provides is interoperability between units, supervision, two-way communication, and enhanced functionality. CEO recommends using this for a broad spectrum of cases, especially high security government applications or other high security installations, and particularly for federal access control installations that require PKI for FICAM. So some of Cypress OSDP solutions. We have the OSM 1000, which is an OSDP verified product. It's an OSDP to Wiegand converter. You can install it near a Wiegand reader or panel to connect OSDP and Wiegand devices. Then we have the OSM CPI, which is the Wiegand control panel to OSDP interface. So the OSM CPI would be installed inside of an access control panel, a legacy Wiegand access control panel, and would convert an OSDP reader to legacy Wiegand. And just a quick note, we do have wireless OSDP extension under development for Cypress applications. And to address Mario Young's question earlier, this will comply with CAC requirements once this product is developed. So some OSDP market applications. We have financial institutions, data centers, military installations, manufacturing and industrial complexes, energy and petrochemical plants, airlines, nuclear plants, and high security research facilities. So I'll be passing it back over to Jacob.
I'm going to jump in really quickly here. And I just want to say, we're so excited about OSDP. I'm really happy to see your comments about it. Tony Diodato has been on the OSDP working group for quite some time, along with a number of other manufacturers. But it's something that we at Cypress are very passionate about. We're really excited it became an IEC international standard this year. And they started the OSDP verification program this year. And really excited about having a product that's OSDP verified. And I think Jacob wanted to go ahead and go back and address a battery life HHR question.
Yeah, so first we have a question here. Typical battery life for HHR. I understand it can vary with usage, but do you expect a full 8-hour shift, for example? Yes, we do expect up to 8 hours, battery life for the product. And then it'd be at least 4 hours to fully charge that product, or, the HHR reader from, if it's dead, it'd be at least 4 hours to charge that fully. But yeah, it would be 8 hours of uptime on that, at least. And then we have another question here. Is there a target date for OSDP products? Well, we currently have the OSM 1000 on the market right now, and then we're working on other products. But if you're talking about that wireless OSDP extender that Kyle mentioned, we don't have a date for that right now. Okay, so moving on to our next section. If you don't have the right equipment for the job, you just have to make it yourself. And can you make a custom solution for this? I need to route the data from one reader to 2 different commercial tenants' panels. I have 2 incompatible devices that I need to make work together. I can't find an off-the-shelf solution for this job. So the solution to these problems is the Cypress custom solutions. We offer custom data converters and also intelligent Wiegand routers, which are specific to each customer's application. And then we also offer other custom and OEM products. If you or your customer have a product or application that you can't seem to find a solution for, you can come to us and discuss it with us, and then we can possibly make a custom solution for that. So starting off with the custom data converters, these are data converters for customer-specific applications. So here's just some capabilities of these custom converters, and these are the CVX 1400 family of converters. These support up to 2 Wiegand and strobed interfaces, 1 RS-232 and 1 RS-45 interface. They support 4 digital I/O pins, 2 digital input pins, 2 analog input pins, and 2 dry contact relay outputs. The converter I/O can be activated based on customer-specific triggers, and the customer specifies the conversion logic for these data converters. And then moving on here, we have the intelligent Wiegand routers. These are the CVX-OPTS products. So these products, the main application for these is a multi-tenant situation where there's one reader on the outside of a building, but there's multiple tenants on the inside. They each have their own access control system and don't want to see everyone else's card read that comes through that reader. So this allows you to connect one reader to the CVX OPTS, and then the CVX OPTS, based on parameters specified by the customer, will route the Wiegand data out to one access control system or the other access control system. So the capabilities of this device, there's one input port and 2 Wiegand output ports. It's able to process between 1 and 1024 bits of Wiegand data. You can assign multiple credential formats for each output port, and it supports routing based on up to 2 specified fields per credential format. So these would typically be the facility code and card number fields. These support routing based on field value whitelist, so you can specify a list of allowed facility code values, for example, or you can specify routing based on a field value within a specified range of values. So you could also specify a card number range. And these also support multiple application settings, so there can be more than just one setting. I've had this come up for customers that are transitioning between different card technologies, and they asked me to come up with OPTS configurations that would allow them to install these initially with the existing cards and then transition away from those and to the new cards. And these products do support an anti-door forced feature using relays, so that way that the panel that doesn't see the credential data doesn't see the door open and then trigger an alarm. So if you have customers, or if you're interested in ordering our custom solutions, you can go to our website at cypressintegration.com/custom solutions. And then I'm going to pass it back over to Elizabeth to wrap it up.
Thank you, Jacob. So a couple more fun quotes here for you. That's when I usually get a call, when someone's in trouble and needs some rescuing. MacGyver. So this is kind of represents Cypress too. We get a lot of calls with people who are in trouble and they need some rescuing. I remember when I first went to trade shows, it seems like a thing of a past these days, but we would get a lot of integrators and installers coming up to our booth and just saying, boy, I just wanted to come and see you guys. I really appreciate you, really saved our behind on this project. And every trade show I've been to since then, I've heard that. We want to encourage you to sure, call us. Definitely call us when you need some help. And not only for the off-the-shelf products, but also for the custom products. But also think of Cypress Solutions proactively in the planning stages as well as reactively. So last cheesy quote here for you. When it comes down to me against a situation, I don't like the situation to win. So I'm thinking that you probably feel that way too. We want you to plan to win with Cypress Solutions. Again, we're trusted by industry leaders worldwide. We might have that reputation for helping you MacGyver your way out of a solution or out of a problem, but obviously we're not basing our solutions on bubblegum and chocolate and things like that. We have very reliable quality. We have 37 years of industry expertise. We have a lifetime warranty on most products, and that's because our products are so reliable. We've had integrators tell us that they've had our products in the field for many years, sometimes even under extreme conditions, and they have very few problems with them, and they know that they can call us. So that's why we offer the lifetime warranty on most products. The exception to that would be anything with a battery. Our handheld readers would have a 1-year warranty on the reader itself, but most of the products have a lifetime warranty. And we fortunately have a very responsive staff. You can call us, you can talk to a real person, and that makes a real difference too when you're trying to fix a problem. Our product catalog is something that might be very helpful to you. We have it in English and several other languages on our website under cypressintegration.com/catalog. So I'm going to give you, oh, Mario asked if we could get a copy of the slides. Absolutely, that's no problem. This is also going to be recorded, like Michael said. And Michael said that would be available on the ADI website, I'm sorry, on the ADI YouTube channel, and we'll make it available on our YouTube channel as well. But we're happy to follow up with everyone and send you all the information you need. I also want to give you our web address, cypressintegration.com. If you have questions, solutions@cyprx.com would be the email to use, or use our toll-free number, 800-807-2977. We'll help you MacGyver. There are also reps that are throughout the United States. Pro sales reps would mostly be on the West Coast. LRG would be mostly, the center of the US. Security Solutions would be on the East Coast. LRG Canada would be covering Canada, of course. And if you need to get a hold of anyone in Europe or Central and Latin America or Asia, contact us and we can connect you with someone there